Thank you, Riv, and welcome to another edition of the League of Learning. This time we take a look at Cloud9 versus TSM. But to understand this matchup, we have to go back in time to the history of these guys. Who has won what and when? Right here we can see, obviously, Cloud9 dominated the first two splits against TSM. But if we look recently in the last two splits, TSM actually holds a one-game edge over Cloud9. So it has actually become a rivalry, not just Cloud9 destroying Team Solo Mid. Now I want to look at just this split. This includes the tiebreaker game and the playoffs as far as damage dealt to champions per role, percentage of teams roll. Right here, top lane, there's an edge for Balls. Mid lane is a huge edge for Bjergsen. And if we kind of look at these two different teams, TSM has a mid lane and AD carry focus for who deals their damage, whereas Cloud9 is more balanced, with Sneaky still dealing a whole bunch of damage. Lane by lane, these guys have pretty interesting matchups as well. Balls versus Dyrus. You can see the KDA edge definitely goes over to Balls, with Dyrus having almost an entire death more per game. Kill share, which is percentage of teams' kills, and kill participation, Dyrus is low as well because he's often left on an island, and when you're dead, you also can't participate in team fights. But with all of that, Dyrus still manages to have a slightly higher gold per minute than Balls, which is impressive and keeps him in the game later on. One of the reasons TSM can survive with someone having such low kill share and kill participation. Looking at the jungle matchup, these guys actually stack up pretty closely. Meteos used to be known as the KDA king, but Santorin actually has a higher KDA this split. Gold per minute, though, Meteos farms a little bit better, has higher CS, and the ward's kill is pretty close. This is a really dynamic matchup. It's crazy that Santorin is stacking up with Meteos in stats this early into his LCS career. Looking at the mid lane, though, is where we see some of the biggest differentiations. Bjergsen crushes high in kills, deaths, and assists ratio right there. More kills, fewer deaths, more assists. The best of all the worlds. Also a massive CS differential advantage. Bjergsen crushes his opponents, whereas High barely stands even. Kill share is also huge, but High makes some of it back with his incredible warding stats. That's wards purchased per game, 12.6 for High, and more than double the wards killed per game that Bjergsen has, which does keep Cloud9's vision game top of the league. Looking at AD carry position as well, these are living up to their name, the two main carries for both of these teams. Sneaky, a better KDA ratio, but Wild Turtle, more kills, more deaths, and more assists, so action points, as I like to call them. CS, though, Sneaky holds it. Kill share and kill participation, these guys are incredibly close because they are carries for their team. Very, very good players on both sides. We look at supports, and they're also very close, with Lustboy holding the edge in most of the support-specific categories. Earlier, we saw the team damage. That's where Elimination has a slight edge on Lustboy, but most of these do edge just barely over to Lustboy for TSM. Looking at the series as a whole, though, top lane, gold per minute goes to Dyrus, KDA goes to Balls. Down the road, the biggest differentiation point is the mid lane here, where High just has vision on Bjergsen, but Bjergsen has everything else. There's a lot of close matchups here, but I think that mid lane will tilt it in the favor of TSM, making them the favorites in this series. But as you can see from these stats, it's very close. That actually does it for this